Welcome back to Holistic Health Talks. Today I want to show you this diagram, the energetic biosphere of our health, holistic health, our wholesome well-being, and its core aspects, the core three parts of it that we can measure, but also we can influence and moderate to be able to create balance, recreate that healthy balance flow that we talked about in the first video. So obviously one of the first things that we understand as living creatures is the biology of our cells, the biology of our being, basically, our bodies. We understand that and we can measure them, we can visualize them, we can see, are they vital? How is the vitality, how is the biology of our body working or not working? What can we do to enhance that biology, that vitality? Now, obviously there's no biology without biochemistry. Biochemistry is determining all these chemical reactions, interactions, what goes in, what goes through our bodies basically, has to be digested. So whatever we ingest has to be digested. And digestion means breaking it down and then recombining it into something else. Is it beneficial? Is it detrimental? Is it beneficial sometimes, detrimental at other times? All these other questions, we'll raise them and discuss them in other videos. But the core point here is that the biochemistry of the environment determines the biology. And the biology of what is supposed to be there, the intelligence built into the biological system, is intended to control its environment to keep it vital for itself. However, when you change the biochemistry drastically, sometimes even little shifts in this can't cope and this will shift to the better or to the worse, and vice versa. Any shift in one will affect the other. Any changes here will affect that, any changes here will affect that. So the ecosystem is a combination of the living and non-living matter that's inside that ecosystem, each part affecting the other to suit itself, to keep that flow, to keep that symbiosis. Now, how do these things communicate, living and non-living matter? Through biosignaling. So that's the biophysics part of it. So if you want to call it biology, chemistry, and physics, this is it here, the biophysics of it. Quantum field signals. Quantum signals, for example, microbiome, the microbiome, bacteria that live inside our mouths and inside our guts and on our skin, which in total make 90% of the living cells that make us up as a human body, are not human cells. That 10% are human cells, the rest are not human cells. So those bacteria, good or bad, I'm not discussing that right now, which ones are good, which ones are bad. In general, though, the point is they biosignal to each other. It's called quorum sensing. They send signals. Sometimes they're chemical signals and we can measure those. And sometimes we don't know how it happens, but it happens because it's actually photonic signals. It's quantum signals that go far distances, telling them, come here, there's more of us here. There's a good biochemistry environment for us here. Come and live with us. And sometimes they repel each other. Same thing with human cells. Anything that irritates or causes inflammation in one part of the human body, more namely here the mouth, for example, as the portal to the human body, and inflammation in the human body will biosignal to the rest of the human body that there is disease coming, that there's attack coming, that there's a problem coming. And that will directly affect the biology as well as the biochemistry, the molecular signaling that happens in the rest of the body happens after the biosignaling, not before. So what we measure as chemical changes in the human body, they happen instantly in the whole body after a biosignal, a photonic signal goes out to the rest of the body saying, beware, alert, something bad is happening. Or of course, hey, we've got food, we've got nutrition, we've got peace, we've got calm coming. And that obviously activates the parasympathetic nervous system that then releases all these beautiful healing molecules, changes the biochemistry, that then affects the biology. So again, biosignaling directly affects the biochemistry within the whole system. So whether it's the microbiome or the human cells signaling to each other or signaling parts within their own little sphere, it always will cause a shift here, and this will cause a shift there. So a major change in biology will change how we biosignal, how biosignal changes biochemistry, biochemistry changes biology, and so on and so forth. None of these parts are independent of the other. They're all coexistent. Coexistent as what? As this biosphere, like I said. This wholesome, holistic, energetic biosphere. Maybe I should use a better pen. All this exists as a sphere, not a circle really, it's actually a three-dimensional sphere, no ups, no downs. Anything that happens within that sphere in any part will affect the whole being within that sphere. So this is why I keep pointing out the fact that when we talk about holistic health or holistic healing, we cannot focus on any one part alone without thinking or knowing that we're going to influence the other parts. So we better be influencing it to the positive, to the better. First, cause no harm. That's very, very good and a very good intention. But first, do what then? If don't do something, do what? First, cause benefit. First, bring back physiology. First, bring back harmony, symbiosis between different parts, different biological parts of the system, different biosignaling mechanisms, and definitely balance the biochemistry. Typical example, when I decided to make my own oral care products for my daughter and for myself, and then we evolved it to go to the rest of the world and serve all of you with them, I was taking all of these things into account. What is normal human biology? What is normal human physiology? What is normal human biochemistry? What do we need to biosignal between the whole microbiome and the rest of the body? Not just the rest of the microbiome in the guts, but the whole rest of the body, and vice versa, that we can then create products to enhance that system and keep that symbiotic physiological flow going to achieve health. Rather than create a product with some weird so-called magical ingredient to fight a disease, and then another one to fight another disease. While this one causes these side effects, that one causes that irritation, the combination of them both causes, I don't know, XYZ inflammation, which is basically a reaction of the human body. Every time there's a breakdown in its system, it has to fight back. It has to signal back and then fight back until it gets balanced. Don't repeat that in the name of treating or preventing or helping any one disease inflame and aggravate the rest of the body or the microbiome repeatedly. That will not go well at all. How do I know that? Look around us. It's been done. It is still being done today, again and again and again, and it's not working. It's not serving anyone except the ones profiting from this whole system. So when we design a system for human healing, whatever it is, whether it's a diet, it shouldn't be an extreme diet. Whether it's a medication, whether it's an exercise regime, whether it's a talk therapy or a mental therapy, or whether it's a personal care product, oral care product, healthcare supplement, whatever it is, it should have as many benefits as possible within this whole diagram to different parts of the system that will each feed each other, as well as not cause harm to any other part. So the more symbiotic and physiological process it brings together and enhances, the better the product or product system is, without causing any disturbance. And when it goes out of the human body into the ecosystem that they live within, the environment at large, it should also do the same. It should be good for us and what lives inside of us, and where we live as obviously biological creatures, we need a larger environment to live within as well. So let's be kind to ourselves, be kind to our biology, be kind to our microbiome, be kind to our biochemistry, and to our environment. Thank you. Until I see you next time, always aim to feel better, be better, and I'll see you next time.